So this is the paper that we're going to go through. Okay, let's take a look at the first question. Okay. Okay, so first, okay, all living organisms release energy from nutrient molecules within their cells. Okay, what is the name of this characteristic? Okay, okay, release energy from nutrient molecules within their cells. Okay, what process we are talking about here? So we know the answer is respiration. Okay, that's great. Okay, why? Because for respiration, we have glucose. Okay, so glucose plus oxygen, we will produce, okay, carbon dioxide, okay, and then water and energy. Okay, so this is what happened here. Okay, excellent. Okay, so question 2, which diagram shows flower from a monocotyledon? Okay, monocotyledon plant. Okay, so if you refer to the notes, we will find that monocotyledon is the one that the petals, okay, the flower petals, they part in multiple, okay, multiples of 3. Okay, so like 3, okay, 6, okay, and so on. Okay, if we have dicotyledon, okay, so it will, the petals will be parts in multiples, okay, multiples of 4 and 5. Okay, so we can see here, so this is 5 dicot, 5 dicot, 5 dicot. Okay, so this is 6. So this will be multiples of 3. So this will be monocot. Okay. Yeah, so answer will be D. Okay. Yeah, so this one will be very straightforward. Diagram show cross-section through 2 gut cells of a leaf. Okay. Which label structure would also be found in animal cell? Okay. So we want to know structures that are common to animal cells and the plant cells. Okay, so this one will be straightforward, right? Okay, so this one is very straightforward, right? Okay, so we know that we have the nucleus here. Okay, cell membrane. Okay, and then chloroplast. Okay, and this part will be the cell wall. Okay, so we want to know which components are common, okay, to animal cells and plant cells. Okay, so this is very straightforward, right? So chloroplast only plant, cell wall only plants. Okay, so which means nucleus and cell membrane, right? Okay, so very straightforward. Okay, next question. Okay, which level of organization shown by the heart of a mammal? Okay, so what is the heart of the mammal? Is it a cell, a tissue, an organ, or organ system? Okay, so we know that it is a organ. Okay, because why? It's made out of different, okay, different types of tissues. Okay, excellent. Okay, so we know that we have like muscle, okay, tissue, okay, we have blood, okay, vessels, okay, blood cells, okay, and so on. Different types of tissues which make up an organ. Okay, that's great. Okay, next. Okay, female moths release chemicals into the air. Male moths detect these chemicals and fly towards the females. Okay, how do the chemicals spread through the air? Okay, boy, diffusion. Okay, that's great. Okay, yeah. So we know active transport needs energy. Okay, so this is no. Okay, because chemicals spread through the air, we don't need to provide any energy. Osmosis, no. Osmosis is the movement of water. Okay, so yeah. Transpiration? No. Okay, so transpiration is about the loss of water from the plants. Okay, so not related to the spread of chemicals. Okay, next. Okay, diagram shows section through a mesophyll cell of a leaf. Okay, which part is partially permeable? Okay, so this part we are also very familiar, right? So should be no problem. Okay, so we have the vacuole here, and then we have chloroplast. Okay, and then we have the cell membrane. Okay, and then we have the cell wall. Okay, so partially permeable means only allow certain substances to pass through. Okay, so for this part, it will be the cell membrane, right? Yeah, so the cell membrane is the one that only allows certain substances to pass through. So it protects the cell from the things that the cells don't want. Yeah, so the cell wall is fully permeable. So means the pores on the cell wall, they are large enough for anything to pass through. Okay? Yeah. So straightforward, this question. Okay, next. Smaller basic units of starch and glycogen molecules. Okay, so what are the building blocks of the starch and glycogen molecules? Okay, so this is very straightforward, right? Okay, so glucose, okay, will be the building blocks, okay, of the starch and glycogen. Okay, so basically when they join together, okay, so it can be like thousands, okay, of them joined together to become the large molecules of starch and glycogen. Okay, so same thing. The difference between starch and glycogen is branch. Okay, so starch is straight. Okay, just one single chain. Glycogen is branch. Okay, and then starch, we find starch in the plants. Okay, and then for the glycogen we find in animals. Okay, so that is the main difference. Okay, so next question. Okay, yeah, so fill in the blanks, okay, about the DNA. Okay, so DNA is made out of, okay, so how many strands coil together? Okay, the strands contain chemicals called, okay, what do we call? Okay, these chemicals, what do they form? Okay, because of the pairing of A, T, C, and G. Okay, so this is the DNA structure. Okay, so DNA structure is how many strands coil together? Two strands. Okay, so first strand, second strand. Okay, yeah, so basically they will coil together. Okay, so how do they coil together? Okay, like this. Okay, so this is how they coil together. Okay, yeah, so they will two strand coil together. Okay, as such. Okay, and then the strands contain the chemicals. Okay, what kind of chemicals? They are called bases. Okay, so we have this what we call bases molecules. Okay, so the base molecules. Okay, so what do they form? Okay, so we can see here they form bonds. Okay, so they form this kind of bonds here. They are hydrogen bonding. Okay, so basically two strands coil together. They are made out of bases. Okay, so TATCG. Okay, four types of bases, and then they cross-link together. Okay, so basically that's the idea. Okay, no problem. Huh? Okay, next. Okay. Correct definition of enzyme. Okay. So this one should be straightforward, right? Okay. So it is a protein, not a carbohydrate. It is a protein. Okay. Function as a biological catalyst. Okay. So it is a catalyst that works in living organisms. Okay, so we have catalysts in chemical reactions. We also have catalysts in the living things. So enzyme is the catalyst that works in living things. Okay, so the function, speed up. Okay, speed up chemical reactions in the body. Okay, substance that is changed by the reaction, no. So we know that catalysts, they are unchanged by the reaction, so they remain the same. So they just act as the middleman. Okay, so substance made of fats, okay, no. Made of protein. Okay. Okay, next. Which statement describe the effect of temperature on enzymes? What happens for the um effect of temperature? So we can see here all four of them denature. Okay, so what condition will denature enzymes? We know that it is high temperature. Okay, so not low temperature, high temperature. Okay, so when it denatures enzyme, okay, what happened to the enzyme? The shape of the enzyme, okay, will be changing. Okay, so when the shape of the enzyme change, it will be difficult for the substrate to fit. Okay, so when the substrate cannot fit into the active site, then the reaction cannot happen. Okay, straightforward, right? Okay, so that's the idea. Okay, okay, next. So here we have rate of photosynthesis at different carbon dioxide concentration. Okay, so straightforward. Okay, so okay, so we have carbon dioxide concentration here, rate of photosynthesis here. Okay, so as we increase the carbon dioxide concentration, the rate of photosynthesis also increasing. Okay, but at some point it is saturated. Okay, as we increasing the carbon dioxide concentration, the rate of photosynthesis is no longer increasing. Okay, so in here, what could be the limiting factor? Okay, so yeah, so carbon dioxide, no, because we already can see that as we increase carbon dioxide, the rate is no longer increasing. Okay, limiting factor means when we increase this factor, the rate will increase. Okay, so here when we increase is no longer increasing, so carbon dioxide, no. Oxygen and glucose, no, because they are the products of the photosynthesis. Okay, so we don't need oxygen and glucose for photosynthesis. Okay, so light intensity, yes. Okay, so for example, so let's say here we have light intensity like maybe like 10 units, okay, something like that of light intensity. Let's say we increase the light intensity to 20 units, okay, so we expect the rate of photosynthesis will be increasing. So the light intensity is the limiting factor, okay, in this case. Okay, next. Okay, so this one should be also straightforward. Okay, this shows features of a plant leaf. Okay, which features are adaptations for photosynthesis. Okay, so which features um support, okay, increase the efficiency of the photosynthesis. Okay, so make it faster, okay, more effective. So what are the features that are helpful for the photosynthesis? So first, air spaces between spongy mesophyll cells. Okay, so the air spaces will allow the gas exchange. Okay, so for the carbon dioxide to enter the leaf structure, okay, the air space allow the carbon dioxide to come in. Okay, so allow gas exchange. So yes, it will support photosynthesis. Chloroplast, okay, so chloroplast, yes, also, okay, because it contains chlorophyll, okay, contains chlorophyll, which will absorb the energy from the sun, okay, so that the energy is used to produce the glucose, okay. So contains natural insecticide, okay, no. Contain natural insecticide is a good thing, but it's not for photosynthesis. It's to is to make sure the insects do not attack the plant leaf. Okay, so it's to protect the plant leaves for the infestation of the insects, okay, or other pests. Okay, xylem vessels close to mesophyll cells. Okay, yes, okay. So xylem vessels close to mesophyll cells, xylem vessels can supply the water. Okay, so supply the water. So this will be helpful um, for the photosynthesis. Okay, because we need water for photosynthesis. Okay, so 1, 2, and 4. Okay, so straightforward. All right. Okay, next. Which nutrient is required to prevent scurvy? So scurvy is a kind of condition whereby we have bleeding, okay, in our mouth, something like that. So this is because of the lack of vitamin C. Okay, that's great. Okay, next. Which diagram represent the action of lipase? Function of lipase is to break down, okay, fats, right? Okay, so breaking down fats, okay? So we have the enzyme, okay? So this is the enzyme. Okay, so if we see clearly, we will see that B will be the correct answer. Why? Because the enzyme, okay, is not changed in the reaction. So it's just acting as a catalyst. So the enzyme will be positioned here, okay? So the substance 1, so it will be the fats, okay? So the substrate. So fats broken down into 4 products. Okay, so you may recall the 4 products. So the fats will break down into 1 unit of the glycerol and then 3 units of the fatty acids, right? Okay, so that's the one. Okay, so B is the answer. Okay. Okay, next question. Okay, take a look. Okay, so we have cross-section part of a leaf. Which label structure is the xylem? Okay, so the answer will be B. Okay, so this is the xylem part. Okay, because we can see some tubes. Okay, some hollow tubes there. Okay, the function is to transport water for the plants. Okay, so straightforward. All right. Okay. Next. Okay. Diagram shows a cross section of a root. Okay. So the regions of the root are numbered. Which region contains cell which water must pass to reach the xylem? Because we know this is the xylem here. Okay. So water, so this is the root, okay? The root, the function is to absorb water. So we have the water in the soil, okay? So water absorbed, okay, through the root hair cells, okay? And then into the tissues, okay? And then into the xylem, okay? So it does not need to pass through tree. Tree is the phloem, okay? So phloem is for transport of sugar, okay? So does not need to pass through the phloem. Okay. Okay, next. Okay, so this one is about blood circulatory system. In a double circulation, what is the role of the right side of the heart? Okay, what is the role of the right side of the heart? First thing we need to remember when we look at the heart, the left and right is reverse. Okay, so this part here, so this part is the right. Okay, so the direction is reverse. Okay, so this part is right. Okay, so and then this part is left. Okay, yeah, so that's the first point. Okay, so if we look at the right and left, okay, okay, let me clear everything. Okay, yeah, so the two sides are reversed. Okay, when we look at the heart, right and left. Okay, so if we look at the blood circulatory system, okay, how it works. Okay, so it is a cycle, so we can start from anywhere, but most of the time, okay, to make things easier, we will start from here. Okay, So, yeah. So, okay, maybe easier start from here. Okay, so start from here. So from the lung, we get oxygenated blood. Okay, oxygenated blood. Okay, so oxygenated blood will come to the heart. Okay, so the left hand side of the heart, and then it will pump to all the body cells. Okay, all the body cells, and then so the oxygen is getting used up in the body cells. So after we pass the body cells, we will have deoxygenated blood. Okay, so the deoxygenated blood will return to the right hand side of the heart, and then it will return back to the lungs. Okay, so the oxygenated blood go to the lung, and then it will get the new supply of oxygen again. Okay, so that's how the cycle happen. Okay, so right hand side of the heart. So this is the situation here. Okay, so basically we have, okay, essentially we have deoxygenated blood. Okay, so deoxygenated blood coming into the right hand side and pump the oxygenated blood, okay, to, oh sorry, not this one, the oxygenated blood from the body, and then pump the oxygenated blood to the lung. Okay, so pump the deoxygenated blood to the lung. Okay, so that's the situation here. Okay, so no problem, huh? Okay. Okay, next. Okay, here. Okay, photomicrograph shows some human blood cells. Okay, name of cell X and what is the function. Okay, okay, components in the blood. Okay, so we can see this one is red blood cell. Okay, and then this is lymphocyte. Okay, the function is to produce antibodies. Red blood cell for carry oxygen. Phagocyte, okay, to fight disease. Okay, so basically it will kill bacteria, okay, kill like germs, okay, by the process of phagocytosis. Okay, so platelets, okay, which form blood clots. Okay, so help us to have the blood clots. Okay, so which means this is the phagocyte. Okay, so this is the phagocyte function, engulf pathogens. Okay, so straightforward. Okay. Okay, next. 3 statements about immune responses are listed. Okay. Yeah, so we can take a look. Okay. So yeah. So what we mean by immune responses. Okay. So when we have immune responses, so which means we are responding to some threats, okay, from the environment. Okay. Yeah. So we can see okay, so the answer will be B. Okay, so first, antigen triggers immune response, which produce antibodies. Okay, two, memory cells are produced, also correct. Okay, um, number three, no, antibodies acquired from another individual. Okay, so this is not immune response. Okay, because we are not doing something by our own body to fight the disease. Okay, so we are actually getting the antibodies. We are getting the protection from another people. So we are not generating the protection by ourselves. Okay, number one and two is yes. Okay, so yeah. So basically, after the first time we encounter the germs, after the first time we encounter the germs, like let's say for example, COVID. So the first time we encounter the COVID, we will get sick, okay? Because we have no memory of this germ, okay? But after the first time we encounter, we will produce memory cells, okay? So we will start to um, remember these germs, okay? So the next time, okay? So basically, when we start to remember, we will produce the antibodies, okay? So we will produce the antibodies. So we start to remember this germ. Okay. So next time, the same, let's say the COVID virus enter our body, we start to remember. Okay. And then we will have the antibodies that recognize these germs. Okay. We'll have the antibodies that recognize them. Okay. And kill the germs. Okay. So that's the idea. So active response by our own body. Okay. Okay, next. Which role shows the action of muscles during inspiration? Okay, so inspiration means when we breathe in. Okay, so when we breathe in, okay, so what happened to the different components of the lungs? Okay, so first we see what happened to the diaphragm. Okay, so the diaphragm, okay, is pulled down. Okay, so pull down means it is contracting. Okay, so the muscles need to pull down the diaphragm. Okay, so yeah, contracted muscle of the diaphragm. Okay, so contract. Okay, so external intercostal will be contracted. Okay, external intercostal contracted. Okay, and then internal intercostal will be relaxed. Okay, so they work oppositely. Okay, okay, yeah, so D will be the answer. Okay, so basically need to memorize a bit. Okay, okay, next. Okay, carbon dioxide is produced by aerobic respiration. How many molecules of carbon dioxide produced from the aerobic respiration of 3 molecules of glucose? Okay, so if we have 1 mole of glucose, we will have 6 mole of carbon dioxide. Okay, so if we have 3 moles of glucose, so 3 moles of glucose, we will have 18 moles of carbon dioxide. Okay, so straightforward. Okay, okay, next. Okay, which statement describe how oxygen debt is removed after a vigorous exercise? Okay, so when we have aerobic respiration, okay, the glucose will be converted to lactic acid. Okay, so this lactic acid is actually oxygen debt. Okay, so when we have anaerobic respiration, okay, when we are exercising vigorously, we do not have enough oxygen, but we still need the energy. Okay, cannot supply enough oxygen. Okay, so we will have anaerobic respiration that build up the lactic acid. Okay, so it will cause the cramp and fatigue. Okay, so it is created because oxygen is needed for aerobic respiration to convert lactic acid back to harmless chemical. Okay, so this will happen in the liver. Okay, so yeah, so basically at the end of the race, okay, the vigorous exercise, okay, the sprinter will pant. Okay, so he will still like keep breathing very vigorously to get enough oxygen to repay the oxygen debt. Okay, so the breathing will remain deep and fast to supply enough oxygen for the aerobic respiration of the lactic acid. Okay, so the heart rate will remain fast for a while. Okay, so transport lactic acid to the liver. Okay, so the liver will convert the lactic acid back to um uh the lactic acid will be back to harmless chemical, okay, such as pyruvic acid. Okay, so our answer will be lactic acid transported to the liver. Yes. Okay, respired aerobically. So now after the vigorous exercise, we have enough oxygen. Okay, so we will convert the lactic acid back. Okay, yeah, so we repay the oxygen debt. Okay, so the heart rate will stay high. Okay, to remove the lactic acid. Okay, so all of them correct. Okay, okay, next question. Which statement about urea is correct? Okay. Okay, so what is urea? Okay, so basically urea is the substance produced, okay, basically urea is a substance produced in our body, okay, when we want to remove, okay, excess amino acids from our body, okay. So what actually happened? Okay, we eat the proteins, okay, in our food. The proteins, okay, will be during the digestive process, protein broken down into amino acids. Okay, so when we have amino acids too much, okay, so some of it we will use to build the proteins that we need in our body. Okay, so if there's too much, it will be converted into urea. Okay, so it's done by the liver. Okay, yeah. So amino acids transported to the kidney. Okay. No, amino acids transported to the liver. Okay. So no. Okay. Urea made in the kidneys and then removed from the body by the liver. So this is no. Urea made in liver. Okay. Removed from the body by kidneys. Okay. So no. Okay, liver break down proteins to amino acids. So this is no. So liver um convert amino acids into urea. Okay. So proteins to amino acids will be the digestive system. Okay. So answer will be B. Okay. Urea travel from liver cells to kidneys where it is filtered out of the blood. Okay. So this is the correct answer. Okay. Okay, next. So we have junction between two neurons. Okay, what is label X? Okay, so yeah, so basically X is the receptor. Okay, yeah. So basically the junction between the neurons is the synapse. Okay, yeah. So in the synapse we have a gap. Okay, in between the two neurons. Okay, so how do the two neurons they communicate with each other? Okay, so it's by releasing these chemicals. Okay, so releasing these chemicals, the chemicals can interact with the receptor. Okay, so when the chemicals interact with the receptor, so this is how the signal, okay, um yeah, the impulse, the signals are transmitted, okay, between the neurons. Okay. Okay, diagram show density of rods and cones across a section of the retina. What is the position of the fovea? Okay, fovea is here. Okay, so fovea is the part, okay, where light is concentrated. Okay, so when we form the image, okay, of um of the objects that we are looking at. Okay, so if we look at the rods and cones, okay, okay, so we can see rods, they are found throughout the retina, but none in the center of the fovea. Okay, and then cones concentrated in the fovea. Okay, so we know that cones concentrated at the fovea. Okay, so which means here, okay, cones concentrated here. So means this is the fovea. Okay, okay, fovea here. Okay. What is the synthetic plant hormone 2,4-D used for? Okay, so this one 2,4-D is actually a kind of pesticides. Okay, so pesticides for killing the weeds. Okay, all right. Okay, which statement about sexual reproduction would be disadvantage for a farmer growing crop plants? Okay, so asexual reproduction, okay, we expect, okay, is faster. Okay, it only need one parent. Okay, okay, but the problem is we get all the DNA from one parent. Okay, so no genetic, okay, no genetic variation. Okay, so disadvantage. Okay, so the disadvantage will be same risk of disease. Okay, because they all have the same genes. Okay, so they will have the same weakness. Okay, when they are attacked by a germ, okay, or some disease, okay, all of them will be um uh will not have the resistance, okay, for the disease. Okay, okay, next. Okay, so we have abnormal sperm cell. Okay, what would be the abnormal sperm cell? Unable to fertilize an egg. Okay, so yeah, so something is not normal about the sperm cell. Okay, yeah, so this is what a sperm cell look like. Okay, so we can see clearly what is lacking is the acrosome. Okay, so the acrosome is lacking. Okay, so what is the function of the acrosome? Okay, so um the function is to digest the jelly coat on the egg. Okay, so it's supposed to digest the jelly coat on the egg so it can enter the egg and then fuse with the nucleus. Okay, so that is fertilization. So if it has no acrosome, so it does not have the enzyme to digest the jelly coat of the egg. Okay, so that's the idea. Okay, okay, next. Okay. One type of contraceptive pill contains progesterone and estrogen. Some effects of the pills are listed. Okay. So the function, okay, what will be the function? Okay. So is 1 and 2. Okay. Inhibit FSH production, inhibit LH production. Okay. So inhibit thickening of the uterus wall? No, because this one is to prevent implantation. Okay, next. Okay, some fruit flies have orange eyes, okay, and others have red eyes, okay. Two orange eye, okay, fruit flies are crossed, okay. Their offsprings always have orange eyes, okay. Two red eye fruit flies are crossed. Their offspring can have orange eyes or red eyes. What can be concluded from these observations? Okay. So if two orange eyes fruit flies, okay, across their offsprings always have orange eyes. Okay. So this tells us that okay, the orange is okay, the orange is recessive. Okay. So the orange is recessive. Okay. You need to have two orange together to get orange. Okay. So we can give like the small r for the recessive. The red, okay, will be dominant. Okay, why? Okay, so we give the big letter. Okay, so the red is dominant. Okay, because when we have red crossed together, okay, so when we have red crossed together, okay, if everyone is red, okay, then the offspring will be red. Okay, so no problem. But when we have red, let's say we have this situation here, cross together. Okay, so we have it. So when we cross together, we will get this okay, possible outcome. Okay, so this will be red, and then this will be orange. Okay, so this is how we know that orange will be recessive, because you need two orange together to get orange. Okay, yeah. So the answer will be A for orange eyes is recessive. Okay. Okay, section of flower that has been cross-pollinated. Which statement are correct? Okay. Okay. So, yeah. So cross-pollination means from another plant. Okay. So from another plant. So the pollen is coming from another plant. Okay. To go into the stigma. Okay. Yeah. So number one will be correct. Pollen produced by this flower will be genetically different from the pollen on the stigma. Okay. Yeah. So because we have cross-pollination. Okay. Pollen carried by the stigma to by the wind. Okay. Yeah. So this is no. Okay. Because if it is carried by the wind, the stigma should be on the outside. Okay. So it can be exposed to the wind. So this one will be insect pollinated. Okay. So normally this structure is indicating insect pollination. Okay. So pollen produce another flower on the same plant. So this is no. So this is self-pollination. Okay. So 1 and 3. Okay, next. Okay. So woman with normal color vision is a carrier for the color blindness. Okay. She has a male child with a man who has normal color vision. Okay. What is the chance of the male child being colorblind? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So we can do the analysis. So okay. Yeah. So we know that. Okay. Uh yeah. So they only get color blindness. Okay. When we have um okay, when we have this situation. Okay. So when we get the um recessive. Okay. So yeah. So when we get the small b, okay, he will get color blindness. Okay. So this is the mother here. Okay. And then the father. Okay. Okay. So when we cross them together, okay, we will end up with these four offspring. Okay. So yeah. Okay. So first we have this situation here. Okay. Second. Okay. Third. Okay. Okay. And then fourth. Okay. Okay. So this one will be no color blindness. Okay. So no color blindness. Okay. So two daughters. Okay. Two sons. Okay. So what is the chance of the male child being colorblind? Okay. So we have two male child. Okay, so this is no colorblind. This is yes. Okay. So out of two, one of them likely to get color blindness. So this is 50%. Okay. Okay. Sickle cell anemia, genetic disorder, result in severe illness in homozygous individual. Okay. In some human population, being heterozygous can be beneficial. Okay. What could be the reason for this? Okay. The answer is this. Okay. heterozygous individuals are more resistant to malaria. Okay, so when they are more resistant to malaria, okay, so they can have the chance to survive. Okay. Okay, selective breeding. Okay, so selective breeding means um we select the parents that have the desirable features. Okay, so yeah, so let's say we want to have the breeding of the fruits. Okay, we want the fruits that are juicy. Okay, sweet. Okay, resistant. Okay, to diseases. Okay, something like that. Large fruits. Okay, something like that. Okay, so we want these features. Okay, so what we will do is we will choose the parents that have these features. Okay, and then we breed them together. Okay, so hopefully some of the offsprings will have all of these features. Okay. Okay, name of organism that obtain its energy from dead organic materials. Okay, so straightforward. So this will be decomposer. Okay. Okay, a herd of red deer live in a forest that contains snakes and a large variety of birds. Which group of organism is an example of a population? Okay, so population means one type of animals. Okay, so one type of animals will be the population. Okay, so all the organisms. Okay, so this will be yeah, not about the population. Okay, so when we're talking about population will be one type of animals. Okay. Which kingdoms do bacteria share the um same genetic code? Okay. Okay, so this one will be all of them. Animal, plant, fungus, and protoctis. Okay. So all of the five kingdoms together. Okay. Okay, which process make use of the genetically engineered organism? Okay, so this is the production of the insulin using the bacteria. Okay, reason for conserving plant species. Okay, so to obtain drugs for medicinal use. Okay, okay, last we have the food web. Okay, so all the chaffinches. Okay, all of them die, okay, what will be the effect? Okay. Yeah. So the main answer will be A. Okay. So chaffinches are the predators for the caterpillars. Chaffinches dying, caterpillars will be increasing. Okay. So there will be more damage to the trees. Okay. Cool. Okay. Okay. Cool. That's done.